And we're live. Okay. Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here. Welcome to the special live stream. It's Friday night. We don't have any videos this week. Unfortunately, we were supposed to do King Arthur this week, but
oh boy,
things have been complicated. But I'm here with special guest Sean, JTIsReborn, and we're here to talk about a person that is either loved by film goers or hated for ruining one particular superhero. But personally, I loved all his work. That is Joel Schumacher. He passed away at 80 years old, surprisingly not due to COVID-19. Thank God. It was actually, apparently it was cancer, which really sucks. But the guy was 80. You know, he lived a full life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and for a lot of people, he's directed some pretty interesting films. I mean, to name some of his, movies out there, I mean, everybody knows him for, Batman Forever and, of course, Batman and Robin. Yes, I still have my VHS tape.
Oh, yeah, I used to have that same tape.
He did so... I think we're mostly going to be focusing on his Batman movies because, why the fuck not? But to name some of his other films, The Lost Boys...
St. Elmo's Fire, Flatliners, Falling Down.
The Phantom of the Opera with Gerard Butler. He directed that.
8mm. Time to Kill is really good.
Time to Kill is good. He also wrote The Wiz, which was the musical adaptation of The Wizard of Oz starring Michael Jackson as the Scarecrow. In fact, if you watch the riff tracks of the Star Wars Holiday Special, they show a commercial for The Wiz, and all these kids are like saying, The Wiz is amazing, but it's like, The Wiz is forgettable, awful. It's written by the director of Batman and Robin. And I see, the thing is, we're mostly here for Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, and I guess, like, from my perspective, in terms of my relationship with Joel Schumacher, I was about the exact right age demographic when Batman Forever and Batman and Robin came out. I was born in 1992, and obviously I was a toddler when Batman Returns came out, even though Batman Returns is my personal favorite Batman movie, just for how fucking dark it was. And the story goes is that Tim wanted to make another one, and I think one of the ideas he had was obviously Billy D. Williams would come back as Two-Face, but Robin Williams was supposed to be the Riddler because he also auditioned for the Joker, but he got screwed over by Burton so many times. To be fair, Robin Williams as a Riddler would have been fantastic. There's leaks of photos of the suit that Keaton was supposed to update to. I think they were actually going to go with the black and gray suit, actually. They were going to go more with what Ben Affleck was going to be. And then eventually the project kind of fell through because Warner Brothers felt Tim was responsible because McDonald's told them, make it more kid-friendly. And so therefore we got Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever, which was a heavily, I think Batman Forever is one of the most definitive films of the 90s. It was merchandised to shit. I remember it very well. In fact, I have something that I've had since I was a child, because I was probably like 3 or 4, and that was actually my first Batman movie in the cinema as well. I have 3 out of the 4 collectors Batman Forever glass cups.
Oh, very nice. I have a Batmobile from Batman Forever.
Now here's what I want to get to. I had a lot of the toys. I had the Kenner toys, the merchandise. It was really cool because they had I actually really liked the Batmobile in that film.
Oh yeah, it's
but what's really cool is I had a toy that could combine from the Batmobile, then you take parts off, then it becomes the Batboat, then you take parts off, and then it becomes the Batwing. And it was the coolest toy. How the fuck... Okay, here's my question, though. How has Batman in his series of vehicles not thought to take all his vehicles and combine them into one, like a Bat Transformer? Freaking the Chipmunks episode Batmonk did that, where Batmonk...
Oh, God, Batmonk. I had that VHS.
Yeah, where they had the cover of Danger Zone.
Yeah.
Right? Where the Batmobile could become like the Batwing and then the Batboat. Like, why hasn't Batman done that yet? That'd be amazing.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I have these cups. So I have the Batman one with Val Kilmer on there, and it still looks all 90s, 95. I just acquired the Two-Face one. The only one I'm missing is Robin. I think Robin's a little bit more harder to find. And then I have, of course, the Riddler. And they all, what I love is too, is like each one, like look at the Riddler cup. It's grip has the question mark.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Two-Face has the coins.
God, those are nice.
And the thing
I have
is,
like a McDonald's Happy Meal Batman toy. I used to have a lot of the toys when I was mostly for Batman and Robin because like I was very young, very, very young, like basically like a newborn practically when Batman Forever came out. So I mostly have stuff from Batman and Robin, but I love Batman Forever quite a bit. As a little kid, it was my favorite growing up. And Batman and Robin, I used to have like a lot of the toys. I had the Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, like Bane. The Bat Hammer was one thing too. That ridiculous vehicle that could barely.
That was the thing, guys. I didn't have that toy, but I did have the Batmobile, and I actually kind of like that car. And we'll get to that in a second. I have a story about that Batmobile.
Right. The Batman and Robin Batmobile I don't like as much, but I love the Batman Forever one. I like.
Yeah, like I love how it's like, you know what I call it? Because like the thing is, Kilmer's suit is always known as the Panther suit, so I call it the Panther Mobile.
I had the costume too for the Val Kilmer Batman for Halloween.
That I did too. Holy shit! I had like that shitty costume, and it was like all just like one suit piece. The mask was like the ears, instead of going like this way, they folded this way. It was terrible.
Oh, it was, but I low key kind of loved it. I also wanted. I was always mad because like I remember going to this costume store, and when I was younger, they had like the Jim Carrey Riddler suit, like full blown, like everything about it. I was always so mad because like I just wanted it so badly. It was always there every time. Like, fuck, I want that suit. I just want it. I gotta have it.
Yeah, like I remember there was obviously McDonald's had the cups. They actually were selling Pogs at the time. Like I don't know if you remember Pogs. That was probably past your time. Pogs was like, it was pretty much like the earliest trending kind of collect every single one of these fucking things like Pokemon and shit. But it was more like cardboard coins. It was really stupid, but had nice artwork on them. But
yeah,
then,
McDonald's had a lot of cool stuff. I remember their VHS collection.
Oh god, we'll get to that. Then there was also the McDonald's Superhero Burger, which I don't know if you've seen that commercial. It was basically a 3-patty. Okay, you know, like you go to Burger King, you get the chicken sandwich, and it's like probably about 6 inches long. It was that, but with a burger and lettuce, tomato. Now nowadays, I would love to have that, but now it's not possible. But yeah, it's just McDonald's was a huge reason, I think, why Batman Forever was successful, because they had a huge hand in the marketing, especially after Batman Returns, because they actually lost money because of Batman Returns. So essentially with Batman Forever, it was the toys. I had obviously the Batmobile. I had all the figures. I had a Riddler that had like a little trap box thing that could go over somebody's head. I had the Robin cycle. It was great. And then also, man, the soundtrack to that movie is pure 90s. Pure 90s.
Seal Kiss from a Rose, Flaming Lips, Bad Days.
Brandy. That's the only Brandy. Like, okay, how much are you aware of Rosario Vampire, Sean?
I'm not really.
It's an okay anime. It's only 2 seasons, 10 episodes each, but I hear that song by Brandy and I instantly think that show. So, but it's the score by Elliot
Goldenthal.
Yeah, who actually I found out today because I watched Oliver Harper's review. He did Alien 3. I had no idea he did Alien 3.
I'll tell you what, as much as I love Danny Elfman singing, Elliot Goldenthal did a pretty damn memorable Batman theme. Dun, 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 dun.
If there's one thing I noticed that Elliot loves to do in his scores is the whole woo, woo. He likes to do that a lot in his soundtracks. It's the same thing with James Horner using the bagpipes and the dinging sound. Like, there's certain composers like to use certain pieces. So
or Hans Zimmer and his blah.
Yeah, but for Elliot, it's woo.
His scores are great. Like his score, like they're very good. His Riddler stuff kind of makes me laugh a bit.
It's I love like, that. No, mine is like that little kind of, where like Jim Carrey's just going like Joygasm. Oh man, that's the thing. Me and Sean today in the last few days, we've just been quoting all these ridiculous movies. So Batman Forever, Jaws. We're just quoting everything today. So man, the Riddler, I'll be honest, is another reason why that movie was a success, because Jim Carrey
was on a whole other level.
The comedian who always likes to play green characters. You ever notice that?
He was smoking in The Mask.
He was riddling in The Riddler, and then he was Grumpy in The Grinch. He likes to play green people.
Yes, he was
It's because I'm green, isn't it?
Or no, my favorite is, I guess I could use a little social interaction.
I saw what was it, a YouTube poop where it's like, they want to spend a little quality time with the clink. But yeah, freaking Jim Carrey in that. I actually really like him as the Riddler. He's not the comic Riddler, like he's not like the clever mastermind, but it's a Frank Gorsha Riddler, and that's one of the things a lot of people say is a bad thing about the Schumacher films is that they're very Adam Westy,
right?
Which I think was the intention because Joel Schumacher has gone on record saying he loves that show. And even when he was doing Robin for Batman Forever, he said, I'd never known Batman without Robin, which is honestly really true. Because think about this. Joel Schumacher's Batman films are the only films to feature on the big screen theatrically Robin. And it's been over 20 years since Robin's been in a movie, and I think it's about damn time he finally showed up in these.
That's what I've been saying too. Like, how come we've had so many damn Batman movies but no Robin? Like BVS, like okay, we could. I thought when the DCU was coming out, we're finally going to get. Since Ben Affleck was an older Batman, I think it would have been perfect if they had the Tim Drake Robin there. You could have had Nightwing and Barbara Gordon off in Bloodhaven. Then you could have brought and like because I know Affleck wanted out after a certain number of movies. You could have brought Dick Grayson back in. You could have brought in Damian to be Dick Grayson's Robin, like it was in the comics where Dick. Grayson
I just want Jason Todd. That's what
that's what I mean.
Death in the Family is one of the only stories in that one of my favorite comics that I really.
All right, you know what? You want Jason Todd? You want Jason Todd? Give me 1 second.
Oh, God. But yeah, it's just more of like, let me just read some questions. Yeah, we know that the Flash, Michael Keaton's coming back as Batman, which, awesome. Awesome. Can we get Danny Elfman back? I just want to hear that on the big screen again. Da, 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 da. Cannot wait. Really? I did not know that, Jared. I can't imagine being like, oh, let's go, Batman. I don't imagine him doing that. That's kind of Yeah, actually, Jared brought up, Sean, that apparently Austin St. John had auditioned for Robin in Batman Forever. So the original Red Ranger. Oh, speaking of Red Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
Know, so basically, but here's the thing. When Batman v Superman came out, or was in production, remember that rumor that Justin Bieber was supposed to be Robin?
Oh, God.
To be fair, in hindsight, as a Jason Todd Robin, would have fit the part perfectly, honestly.
I should be Jason Todd. I got the hood and everything.
Well, it's more just like, because, you know what it is? Because the thing is because I used to hate the kid, but now I have a bit more respect for the guy. But, like, I think now he'd be good. But, like, I don't know. Like, but that's the thing. So, like, with Robin, it's like he is what Watson is to Sherlock Holmes. Imagine making a Sherlock Holmes movie without Watson. You can't do that. Right. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. And I'm gonna be fucking Snoke right now. Take that ridiculous thing off. But the whole thing is that yeah, it's kind of weird that we've gone this long without a theatrical on-screen Robin. And the thing is, when Batman Forever came out, you got to remember that film was basically a Marvel movie version of Batman. Like, that's how I describe Batman Forever. It's a Marvel-style Batman movie. Down to when Robin, like, I guarantee, when Robin came down those stairs in that suit, which I actually still really enjoyed the first Robin suit, guarantee audiences were going, oh, let's go, right? Because at that point, it's like, that's a Marvel moment. Yeah, because like Batman Forever, when I think of imagine you've never seen a comic book movie in your life. You've read some of the older stuff, like the 70s and the 80s. Batman Forever is what I'd imagine. Like, if I'd never seen anything before in my life, I'd imagine that's what a comic book movie would look like, is Batman Forever. Yeah, so, like, the color is great. The sets are amazing. I love the sets, because, like, what I loved about the original, like, 4-film Batman series, I mean, the 60s movie kind of, from 89 to Batman and Robin, which now it's been officially confirmed that these two films are not sequels to Batman Returns. They're kind of an alternate thing. They're reboots. They were also pretty much the first reboot of a big comic book movie. Right, exactly. So now
these aren't canon with the other two things, but you know, they kind of exist in a parallel world. Although Michael Gough exists, I don't know. It's kind of like the James Bond movies where Judi Dench plays M, and like for Pierce Brosnan.
All that matters is if the actors replace, it's a reboot. That's how I see it.
Right.
So it's more just like, yeah, like the sets are great. In fact, if you watch the documentaries, they point out that the interior sets with all the lights, they put their own freaking lighting in the movie. So it's one of those moments where you could get away with, we got to light the set. Let's put the lights in the movie on the camera. And it looks great. Like, it's funny because the movie kind of feels like a stunt show. And funny enough, that was another thing that those movies actually helped promote, where Six Flags used to do a ton of stunt shows.
Oh yeah, they had the Batman and Robin ride, the Chiller.
Yeah, but there was like a water stunt show that had the Bat Boat come out, and it was crazy. I remember, and it's funny because there was a couple of years ago, there was a Batman live arena show on par with like all these recent live shows, like the Marvel live shows and Walking with Dinosaurs. But it took a lot of style from what I felt was Batman Forever. Like, it felt like Batman Forever live.
Yeah, and I can only imagine going to the sets for these movies. Yeah, because I was watching some of the documentaries on the Blu-rays that talk about the sets and how crazy security was on it, and people just had a lot of fun on these sets. I mean, look at how big, bombastic these sets are. They're ridiculous, but goddamn, are they fun? Like, Batman and Robin is a really dumb movie, but I love the entire, like, I went to go see the Fathom events when they played all the movies. I missed Forever though because I was sick. But they played taking my friend who had never seen like the 4 Batman movies to go see Batman and Robin on the big screen for the first time was one of the best experiences ever, because you just go and see them and you're just like, okay, are you ready? You're not prepared for this movie. And just seeing the ridiculousness the first time, we were cracking up the whole time. It was great. I mean, they're fun movies. They're ridiculous but fun. And I really wish we would have gotten a 5th movie.
Well, that's the thing. Like, somebody brought up that people asked me, what was the 5th movie supposed to be? It was supposed to be Batman Triumphant.
Yep.
And the rumor was, it's funny because the concept was, I believe, that it was going to feature not only Batman, Robin, Batgirl, but it was going to have the Scarecrow.
Would use the fear toxin to bring back all the other Batman villains in a sequence.
What was funny was the casting decision. I think it was, the rumor was it was either going to be Jeff Goldblum. So I'm thinking like the Fly Jeff Goldblum as the Scarecrow, or surprisingly Howard Stern of all people.
And Nicolas Cage was another rumor.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage actually would have been great as the Scarecrow. He would have been like Wicker Man face-off Nicolas Cage as
well. Joel Schumacher did use him in 8mm, so
so there was that, and then also obviously at some point, because of her popularity with the animated series, Harley Quinn, who was rumored to be played by Madonna of all people.
Such a weird choice.
Well, have you seen Die Another Day? I mean, she's not that bad in that movie, but not as Harley Quinn. I don't know. I would have gone with like maybe. I would have gone. Actually, you know what I would have gone with is a freaking like a Jennifer Tilly.
Oh yeah, she could have been good. Or I know people would have said maybe a Cameron Diaz too.
Well, it's funny too. I actually wanted to bring this up. If I ever review The Mask, when I get to that scene where Cameron Diaz, because I look at Cameron Diaz's entrance in The Mask, that's one of the greatest entrances for a new time Hollywood star.
Oh yeah, like as a young kid, I was just like, speaking of hotness, Joel Schumacher knows how to cast in his movies.
Well, that's the thing I wanted to bring up, because Nicole Kidman pretty much sums up Cameron Diaz being shown up in The Mask, where it's like, hot entrance. That is literally the clip I'm going to use if I review that movie. Just her going, hot entrance. I'm flattered. Not every girl digs a superhero's night table. And that's the thing. As a kid, I didn't understand the dialogue, but now as an adult, you're like, okay, I totally get this dialogue. Like that scene with Batman and Chase Meridian on the Bat Signal rooftop. I actually really love that scene because Batman can't take a hint that this chick's just trying to like suck his bat dick, right? And holy blowjobs, Batman! But the whole time he's like, "Are you trying to get under my cape, Doctor?" And one of the greatest lines in that series: "It's the car, right? Chicks love the car."
Yep, and then whoosh, women.
Exactly. And what's great is too, it's funny because James Rolfe brought this up in his review of Batman Forever, where he said, "That's every boy's dream, to dress up like a bat and have women go crazy over you. I tried it. It doesn't work." I actually tried that at, like, when I was a young kid. I went to, like, one of my school like school parties dressed as Batman, hoping chicks would go over me, and it didn't fucking work. I felt so embarrassed. But now you go to a Comic-Con, you dressed as Batman in a kick-ass suit, and people are like, holy shit, it's Batman!
So maybe it does work. Yeah, like Nicole Kidman.
At the protest,
like as a young age, seeing her like that. Oh yeah.
Yeah. You were saying?
But yeah, I was saying Nicole Kidman. My God, she is really hot. In
she's
Batman Forever.
Gorgeous in that movie. She still looks good.
No, she does, and like same with like Uma and as Poison. Like I'm telling you what, as a young kid, seeing that was it sure was something. Man,
you took the words right out of my mouth, because like late '90s for me is when I really started to notice that I was having crushes on girls. Like I was like probably like 5 or 6, and like it was Cameron Diaz in The Mask, it was Nicole Kidman in Batman Forever, it was Catherine Zeta-Jones in The Mask of Zorro. That was my first celebrity crush, if anything. Because before I didn't know what I was thinking, but like Catherine Zeta-Jones in Mask of Zorro, just my heart just went like.
I still have yet to watch that one.
And but then it was Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy. I remember I had the hugest crush on her as a little kid watching that movie, and that's why actually when I was a kid, I didn't want to be Batman. I wanted to be Robin, and there were a couple of reasons why. One, he's the young sidekick, and he's younger, and he's got more kick-ass and more flexible.
He's an expert at laundry karate.
But 2, in all the incarnations of Batman I've seen, he's the one that gets all the chicks. Because he's a young guy. Like, yeah, Bruce Wayne's a billionaire playboy, but Robin gets all the girls. You know, like, I guarantee it. Like, do you ever think it, like, at parties when Bruce adopted Dick, and then when, like, he's having his rich parties, you know, he's trying to get all the girls to say, here's my ward, Dick Grayson. They're like, ooh, right? You know, they want to go for the young kid. I'm like, you know what? Fuck Batman. I want to be Robin. Robin got the good shit.
I tell you what, Dick Grayson, though, like, he's had more love interests than all the DC characters combined.
They don't call him Dick for nothing.
Giggity.
Giggity indeed. But yeah, it's just, and Chris O'Donnell, you know what? He seemed like the only guy who got the best out of those movies, because
he said he would have done a 3rd one, 4th one. He said he had the time of his life on this. He said they wish they would have taken another year instead of not rushing Batman. I think Batman and Robin, if they would have waited another year, it would have been, we probably would have gotten Batman.
They were on the high of Batman Forever being such a smash hit, because you got to remember too, when Batman Forever came out, it was one of the first movies to be one of the biggest opening weekends. I think like the first weekend of its release, it was like $15 million. Now nowadays, that's nothing. Like nowadays, you get a movie that breaks $200 million and you're a smash hit. But back then, $15 million, holy shit.
I think it was the first movie ever to make $50 million in a weekend. Like it was a big deal.
Yeah, and like Joel Schumacher, he was getting calls at the press, and he got a call from his agent saying it's going to be the biggest movie of all time. I'm like, yeah, man. I mean, it wasn't Jurassic Park, because it took like, I think it took like, what movie beat out Jurassic Park? It was Titanic.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And then like it's funny because like Batman Forever held the biggest opening weekend, and then Lost World came in like 2 years later, and then after that it was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Was it Godzilla 98 that beat the opening weekend record, or was it very close? It was
an opening weekend for a while, but then afterwards it just kind of slumped. It was kind of like Batman v Superman. The first weekend it's fine, but the second weekend it just plummets because
right.
Wow, that movie's a piece of shit.
Yeah, it is.
And it's funny to think how, because when did Batman and Robin come out? In June, right?
Right.
I always thought it came out in May, because The Lost World came out in May. So I wonder if like during its like theatrical run, if The Lost World was able to top Batman and Robin back then, because they came out the same year.
Right. Lost World did ultimately. It made like 200-something million. Batman and Robin made like 100-something million domestically. And like Batman and Robin's made its money back, obviously, with like multiple Blu-ray releases, TV rights, toys, merchandise, all that stuff.
I think it made most of its money on not only VHS, but the newly format known as DVD. I think Batman and Robin was one of the first big movies to be hugely successful on DVD back in '97. Because I remember, I had this tape, and they had a commercial for DVD, and I didn't know
the one where the It was the one where the family's sitting there and they push the thing and they're like in their seats. You're like,
holy shit! And to be fair, I remember when DVD came out, it was a big fucking deal. I mean, it's still a good item to get. If you can't afford the Blu-ray, get the DVD.
I'll say this though, Blu-rays may have better quality and like screen protection, but the thing with DVDs, like Blu-rays nowadays are pretty lazy, especially when it comes to the menus.
Oh my god, the menus are totally interactive.
Right, they're so boring. Like I miss the
like a game menu.
It's boring. Like DVDs, yeah, some of the earlier DVDs didn't have that. Like the first DVD I ever bought or I ever watched here, like the first one my family ever got was for Rush Hour. And like, I mean, it was like so cool to just like experience it. Like, wow, I could skip back like this. I could go here, but the menus were creative. Like
at some point, we need to do a stream about the best DVD menus.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to think which one would be my favorite. Was it the movie Fight Club? I think it's the DVD or the Blu-ray where it's a big troll where like you go to the menu, it's Drew Barrymore's Never Been Kissed.
See, for me, it's things like Batman 66, the movie,
that one's
Lord
great.
Rings, the Harry Potter DVDs,
Star Wars. Jurassic Park 3 had a cool one.
Oh yeah, the Star Wars DVDs were actually pretty fun and interactive. Those were great. But to the point, so back to Schumacher. So yeah, Batman Forever was, it was a pretty big hit. I remember seeing it, and I remember the soundtrack. I used to listen to Seal all the fucking time after that. I wore out that goddamn cassette tape. Yeah, we had the cassette tapes back then.
I had the cassette tape too, and I remember like my mom would drive around. I'd be like, Batman Forever song, Batman Forever song.
That was me. Holy shit! What the fuck? No, this was like in the 90s and shit, man. Because I think after Batman Forever, it was like, I mean, I was pretty exposed to Batman as a kid. I mean, I mostly watched the 60s TV show, the Schumacher movies, some of the animated series if I could catch it on TV, and actually, surprisingly enough, the 1949 serial with the Wizard, which I actually like that serial. I actually do like. I don't like the first one. The first one's boring.
Oh, the first movie serial? Oh, it's
it's pure propaganda, but like the second one.
Oh, it is. It's pretty especially today's day and age.
Yeah. For me, the Wizard in the second serial is one of those characters like, why didn't he never show up in the comics again? He wasn't even in the comics. It would have been great if he shows up in a movie or something. The Wizard's a great villain. Right.
Like, and then the first one was Dr. Daka.
Oh yeah, Dr. Decker. That reminds me of Dr. Decker from fucking Conga. Oh, God. You haven't seen Conga yet, have you?
That's the gorilla one. That's with, isn't Michael Goff in that, too?
That's with Alfred, yeah. There, going back to Batman. Monster Bruce, I've created a giant, horrible gorilla that's going to kill hippies.
How would you feel about Batman Forever and Batman and Robin sets? Jack would probably buy them all.
Yeah, oh my god, if they made those, shut up and take my money, I would have bought. But the thing is, I've actually kind of cut down on the Lego Batman stuff. I'm actually selling a lot of them now. I'm more into, like, the pirate stuff, right? Like, look at that fucking pirate ship behind me. That thing's fucking huge.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, like the one, the red in the back.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it was just one of those things where, like, yeah, Batman Forever was a huge hit. So, obviously, I was looking forward to Batman and Robin. I bought all the toys. And funny enough, when that film came out, their marketing, actually, they changed companies because obviously McDonald's was out, and instead they got Taco Bell. Because I think during that time, it was Godzilla 98 and Batman and Robin were huge marketing pushes for Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah, Godzilla 98, I remember the Taco Bell toys. Like, those were like... Yeah.
And then later it was the Phantom Menace was a huge thing for Taco Bell as well. So they had a good 3 years of marketing on some.
I feel like Happy Meal toys kind of stopped at like year 2000, and then it just kind of went away after that.
It was more, I think they stopped around maybe 2008. I want to say maybe more so. But
they used to have so many all the time, but then they just I kind of miss those days. I remember like McDonald's used to have some really cool toys, but now I don't think they do like jack shit anymore.
They used to have like toys for like Batman the Animated Series. They had a Spider-Man car where you flip the web open. I remember a lot of those toys.
Do you remember the stretching screamers that they used to have? Those were pretty sweet. It was like the Universal Monsters. And
it was weird because McDonald's Canada and McDonald's US had different types of Happy Meal toys. I lucky enough had a few of the 90s US toys because I was living in the States. So I had like stuff from like when they were promoting Animal Kingdom at Disneyland and Lion King 2 plushies and shit like that. Like, they were promoting direct-to-video sequels back then. But to the point, so with Taco Bell, it was funny because they had a contest where if you matched up the cups or something, you could win a Batmobile. That turned out to be a total scam. Because apparently it was like, you win the Batmobile, but one, you could only have it for 1 day. And you couldn't drive it around. You just put it on your front lawn to piss off your neighbors. That was the whole contest. The reason for it, that they couldn't have the Batmobile entirely, was because apparently when they made the prop, they only made one prop. Batmobile. They only made one vehicle. So because of Warner Brothers Archives, they couldn't give it away.
Wow.
So that's where you got it. No, and this is why I enjoy now people who make replicas of, say, the '89 Batmobile, which is my personal favorite out of the entire Batman mythology. That you make replicas. So hey, can somebody make a replica of the fucking '97 Batmobile? So at least that kid from Taco Bell can finally have his goddamn prize.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but can you imagine that you just get a day to just keep the Batmobile on your front lawn. You can't drive it, and all you can do is show it off and piss off your neighbors.
I'd do that. I would. I'd have it in the front yard. I'd sit there and I'd just sit in it all day like, fuck yeah, I'm in the goddamn Batmobile. I've been in one Batmobile. I've been in the 60s one. I've
actually been around the '89 Batmobile because we have a guy here in Ontario who actually has one. He drives it around. So he occasionally comes to events, so you get to be up there. I've actually been in. I've gone on a ride in the DeLorean. That was fun as hell.
Oh, it sounds like a blast. Like I want to just the 89 is my personal favorite.
They are crammy. They are hard to fit in.
Oh yeah, I'm a big guy, so it's like me trying to sit in one of those things. I'm like,
That's like Andre the Giant being shoved into Herbie. It's not gonna fucking work.
Right. It's just like some vehicles I'm like, this is not comfortable at all. I need something with some space, some leg room.
Exactly. Yeah, and the thing is with the Batmobile, it was a one-seater. You know?
The 60s one wasn't, but like I think you could fit two people in the 89 one, right?
Oh yeah, it was a two-seater.
Yeah, it was pretty God, I want that car.
But yet, in Batman Returns, it kind of became a one-seater because of the thing where like the Batmobile kind of splits into two things when he goes through that little alleyway.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a little worried. And also, Stream. Speaking of Batman Returns, Michael Keaton possibly coming back as Batman. Fuck yeah, he's basically like, from what I've been hearing now, this is it. This is some good stuff. Like Keaton's like, okay, I'm gonna do this movie and appear in other things, but Tim Burton's got to make Batman Beyond. So that's like the stuff that's...
I would just do Batman 3, but no passing the torch. I just want one more adventure with Michael Keaton in the suit. I want Billy D. Williams as maybe an old Harvey Dent. That's the thing. Let's see what's happened in the last 30 years.
That's what has... I'm more excited for Batman in the fucking Flash movie than the fucking Flash.
Yeah, I want to say, like, that's the thing. You have an aging Harvey Dent. Maybe you could have some things where he was Two-Face and then he just kind of... So, no, actually, at this point, this would be a good opportunity. Not Batman Beyond. The Dark Knight Returns. Do a proper adaptation of Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns set in the Burton universe.
Well, you can't do that. Joker's already dead.
Well, I don't know. You can come up with... You can somehow do something...
And Jack is retired, so it's not like... He's done. He's done making movies and stuff. Although, he may do a... He would probably, I think, possibly do a cameo. I don't know, because he didn't do a cameo for Dr. Sleep.
Well, I think that he's actually... It's funny, because from what I heard, he actually... kind of left Hollywood at the right time, because then before Tinseltown started falling apart, he fucked off. He made one more movie about 10 years ago and then he kind of left. And I think it was also because he was actually suffering from Alzheimer's.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. So now he just kind of he sits back and watches sporting events or just enjoys retirement.
He golf.
Yeah, that's all he does. And apparently he has screenings at his house all the time for a bunch of people. But
yeah. Well, I remember, what was it? He was talking with Robin Williams after Robin won the Academy Award, I think, for Good Will Hunting as a supporting actor. And then he came in and told, and they were talking about their Oscars, and Jack told Robin, you know, Robin, now I have one for every decade. He's like, you bastard! Oh, that's the thing. Apparently at the Academy Awards, back in those days, Jack Nicholson, for some reason, during breaks would always go to the dump, like would always go to the toilet and go take a shit. And then people who would go, the boys who would go into the bathroom, they would have like the craziest conversations with Jack Nicholson.
Like, that sounds awesome.
Like apparently, like that's where he actually promoted Batman '89 was to like one guy, Jack Valenti, who was like a big studio head, and they were talking literally on the toilet. And then I think the same thing happened with Elijah Wood during the Oscars for Lord of the Rings, because Elijah Wood was going to the bathroom and he saw Jack, and Jack was like, "Hey, did you die?" And it's like, well, if you went to the Great Havens, like, what are you talking about? I left a half hour before that. It's like, wait, you didn't see the ending? Nah, man, there were many endings. I had to go warm up the car for my kids. And then I think Robin once said, well, the drugs wore off for him. That's what it was. I gotta go take a bit of medication. God bless Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson just seems like a cool dude just to hang out with. Like, he's just like, whatever.
Am I the only one who thinks Leo DiCaprio is now this generation's Jack Nicholson?
A less talented version of Jack Nicholson.
Well, I like Leo. In fact, people want him to play the Joker, which honestly, now, Leo, I could kind of see. Like, if you do it back in the 90s, fuck no.
Yeah, I remember he was rumored for the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, but he didn't really want to do it. But it worked out for the best because Joaquin Phoenix, like, it's like the one movie where he's like, I might do a sequel. I got a lot of exposure. Yeah,
but the thing is, how do you do Batman in that universe? It's so weird.
Well, you know what? We're in the DC multiverse world, so it's just kind of crazy.
The way they can fucking beat out, Marvel is Marvel has the cinematic universe. We have the cinematic multiverse.
Well, Sam Raimi's Doctor Strange 2 is going to be called Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and there's rumors that Tobey Maguire might come back as Spider-Man. That's the only reason I'd be excited to see that movie, and because Sam Raimi's doing it. Other than that, I'm kind of checked out of the MCU for the most part. But anyways, back to Joel Schumacher. So he's done some other movies too. Obviously, he did the Batman movies, which obviously you and I have other fond things. But he's done some other stuff too. One film I really liked in particular was A Time to Kill. Have you seen that one?
I have not seen that one, but I have a question. Did he do Tombstone?
No, I don't think he did Tombstone. Let me take a look really quick at his film.
I can't remember because I know Val Kilmer was in Tombstone with the classic "No."
That was Kurt Russell just going crazy. No, it wasn't Val Kilmer, or no, it wasn't Joel Schumacher making Tombstone. It was somebody else. But because that's why he didn't do Batman and Robin, because he was busy filming Tombstone. But yeah, Joel Schumacher, I tell you what, he did some great stuff. Flatliners is one that's well liked too. Lost Boys is a classic one, and I really liked Falling Down. Like, if you want to see a movie about some dude losing his shit, Falling Down is great. It's like at first you're just like, okay, you're gonna kind of like this guy and just kind of feel sympathetic, and then just kind of takes a turn. It's like, no, the scene where Michael Douglas is just like, I just want my fucking breakfast. It's 5 minutes later. Look at this. It doesn't look anything like that goddamn little image there.
Michael Douglas did with Ridley Scott that I now want to watch called Black Rain, and I heard it's really good. I
think I still have that on VHS. I have to look again.
It's weird because I'm only now getting really into Ridley Scott movies because I loved Legend, I loved Gladiator, I watched Alien for the first time last year on Halloween. I don't want to watch the rest of the series, but yeah, I really enjoy Ridley. But with Schumacher, yeah, it's like the only other movie. I'll be honest, I have not seen The Lost Boys, although I've seen most clips of it. I haven't seen Falling Down. I've seen The Wiz, which I really did not care for.
Yeah, Wiz is
Well, one movie I actually was surprisingly impressed with was his adaptation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera. And a couple of reasons for it. Again, being Schumacher, his sets are fantastic. But also, Gerard Butler is no Michael Crawford.
Claude Rains.
Because, well, you want to know why he's not Michael Crawford? Because Michael Crawford had rheumatism. Yeah. But it's funny, I watched that again recently. That's still a decent film. That's why
I haven't watched it, but
that was one of James Horner's surprisingly most underrated scores. Is Once Upon a Forest. But
most underrated James Horner score, Commando.
Yeah, well, that's like 80 synthesizers. You can't go wrong with that. But it's funny with Phantom of the Opera. I love the Lon Chaney film. That's my personal favorite. But other than that, it's like, I'd say the Schumacher film is actually pretty solid as an adaptation of the musical. Now, I've never seen the musical, but I've heard it's fantastic. But one thing that actually I really enjoyed about that film, I went back and watched a few scenes. The sword fight in that is actually really good. Because, like, for one thing, who knew the Phantom could duel? Could, like, do sword fighting? Okay, that's.
Well, you gotta understand, it's King Leonidas.
Yeah, and well, it's like, this is the Phantom, right?
I have not seen that movie, but
like, this is the point of no return. He sounds like Arnold.
So you got to have, like, in these big musical movies, like, they hire at least one actor who's, like, really bad at singing to make the other actors sound better. Like, yeah, Russell
Crowe and Les Miserables, and I'm Javel.
Don't forget my name.
I'm acting.
You forget the one.
What I love about that sword fight, it's well choreographed, it's well shot, but I really love the Phantom sword. It's like it's sort of like the swords you see all over my friggin' wall, but the handguard is actually a skull. If you look up the screen use prop, it's a nice sword. I'd be like, I want that sword. The sword of the Phantom, like the Phantom sword. It sounds awesome. But yeah, it's weird with like other. I haven't seen many. Did he do any other films after Phantom?
Let's look at his filmography. His first one he directed was Incredible Shrinking Woman.
Oh boy, that must have been a fun Roger Corman crap fest.
He did something called DC Cab. Then he went to St. Elmo's Fire. Then The Lost Boys. Then a movie called Cousins. Then he did Flatliners. Dying Young. Then Falling Down. Then he did The Client.
That is.
Then he did Batman Forever, then A Time to Kill, Batman and Robin, 8mm, Flawless, Tigerland, Bad Company, Phone Booth, I heard is actually pretty good. Veronica.
That's the one that's like a Hitchcock movie, right?
Right. It's got Colin Farrell in it, I believe.
Yeah. That one I'm actually kind of tempted to see because I'm a big fan of like movies that try to be Hitchcock. Like the last movie I felt really replicated Hitchcock's works well was a movie called Man on a Ledge with Sam Worthington.
Okay, I've heard of that.
That was literally a hit. Like I watched that in theaters. I'm like, this is literally a Hitchcock movie.
Yeah, so he did that. He did Veronica Guerin, Phantom of the Opera. After that, he did The Number 23.
I don't remember that one.
That's with Jim Carrey.
Oh God, the horror movie with Jim Carrey. You know what I get confused with that with? Dead Silence.
Oh, the James Wan movie?
Yeah, I keep getting it confused because I think it's Jim Carrey and a ventriloquist dummy.
I haven't seen Number 23, but I've heard not great things about it. But yeah, they did a movie called Blood Creek. He did 12, Man in the Mirror, which is a short film. And the last movie he directed was in 2011. It was called Trespass, and it had Nicolas Cage and Nicole Kidman.
Of course it did.
But yeah, he was like, I think he was going to do, I think he directed some episodes of House of Cards too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's kind of the last stuff that he directed was that.
So I guess at that point, he's like, I got 10 years, I'm going to retire.
Right, and then he obviously had his illnesses that he was battling. But from what I gather, like, Joel Schumacher is one of those people. He got a bad rap at some movies, but he was a nice guy. Like, generally, a lot of people really liked him. The man even apologized for Batman and Robin. Like, he apologized. Like, he didn't.
Rarely do you see people who make shit movies apologize. Like, it was the writer of Dragon Ball Evolution apologized because he didn't know what the hell he was writing. I believe actually Peter Jackson apologized for The Hobbit recently because he said that wasn't like I tried my best with what the studio was pretty much ordering.
Yeah, The Hobbit, they just winged it for the whole thing. It's like, oh, we're gonna do it. Like, The Hobbit doesn't need to be that many movies. Why is it so long with nothing happening at all? It was.
I remember liking Desolation of Smaug when I came out, but ever since I tried watching it again. I'm like, I can go towards when they go on the freaking Barrel River, and then after that I have to walk out because it's just at that point when Lake Town was boring.
I'll tell you this, by the time it got to the third Hobbit movie, and then when it finally ended, I just I have not watched it since the theaters.
I actually still have fun with the third one.
Yeah, the third one, it's
it's a big battle movie,
I would have appreciated if we would have gotten an epilogue with Lord of the Rings. That would have made it worth it.
Well, it doesn't end with the whole no, thank you, we don't want any more well wishes.
It should have had an epilogue with Lord of the Rings, where you just kind of see where Frodo's off today, and just kind of see Bilbo, because Bilbo at the end of what was it, Return of the King, he went with Frodo off to sail, right?
Yeah, Bilbo, Gandalf, Frodo, and Galadriel and Elrond all went to heaven, essentially.
Yeah, I would have liked to follow up to that, kind of like to see like them, like maybe Bilbo's last day or something like that. I think that would have made it a little bit more worthwhile when it came to the Hobbits.
Because Ian Holm's kind of dead too. So,
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. It's like with Schumacher, yeah, he was a nice guy, and that's the thing too. Apparently, when everybody was on his movies, he made them fun. He just liked to have fun. He liked to enter. He always said it wasn't his intention to make it bad, but he just wanted to entertain people, and that's what he did.
Look at how much joy he's brought in the internet with all the Mr. Freeze memes.
Well, it's that, and then also I love seeing him behind the scenes on especially Batman and Robin, because I think there was a story where he would pull out his megaphone and be like, "Remember, everybody, it's a cartoon." And I'm like, you know what? Even Batman and Robin, despite it being bad, people just had fun.
I love Batman and Robin. It brings me.
Let's just make a fun cartoon movie. And that's what they did. And you know what? And I watched it again recently. And I mean, it's funny because I showed Brad for the first time. I think the first Batman movie he saw with me the Dark Knight trilogy, because Dark Knight Rises had come out, and we actually did the marathon where we watched the first two before the last one. And actually, we left the theater at like 3 a.m. Right?
Oh, God.
Great night to watch all three Batman movies in one sitting. It was fantastic. By the end, I was sobbing during Dark Knight Rises. I was like in tears. That was
I remember trying to get to the midnight for that one, but like there was like 4 screenings that were all sold out, and I was out of town that day, so I had to like find.
Surprisingly, the trilogy marathon was the least sold at our theater. Should have done all like the 3 films, but that was the first time.
But I was out of town. So.
Then I showed him the other films, and when we finally got to Batman and Robin, he was really dreading it. And afterwards, I was like, "So what do you think?" And he's like, "It wasn't that as bad as I thought it was going to be. The only problem I had was the puns." Like,
I love the puns. It makes it funnier.
Well, the puns are great, but it's like, saying it wasn't as bad, I'm like, hey, maybe the movie's aged over time, and you know what? It has. It's actually not as bad as people make it out to be. And the whole backlash against Batman and Robin is due to a few things. One, going from like this dark, serious, almost hard R superhero franchise and turning it into a kid's toy commercial.
Literally, like you can cut like the toy stuff together, like when they're driving across the like life-size statues through Gotham City. Which, by the way, when I was watching that last time, I couldn't stop laughing because those statues are like life-size, and then
I love those things. Those things.
No. Let me see that. The giant one where they race across the dude's arm.
Yeah.
You know how this is in the middle? Okay, it's in the middle of the building. Do they have a giant statue dick in somebody's office, like right out their viewpoint is the statue?
Yeah, I love their driving and like fucking. It's like, pull back. You can't make the jump. I can make it. Pull back. I can make it. Redbird control codes. Disable edges. And I love how like Batman and Robin actually communicate with like that's one thing I really loved about Schumacher's movies is that he updates the suit.
Don't do this to me. Ah!
So he screams, and it's like he literally does an "I am Captain Kirk" scream. It's like, "I am Captain Kirk."
And literally, Batman drives across the middle finger as if symbolically saying "fuck you." Oh no! Did you see?
Yeah, but like that's the thing. So like, I love how every film he updates the suit. So like, I really love the Panther suit. Like, we don't have the yellow belt; it's pure black except the emblem. I can live with the nipples. I'm not one of those people who complain about the nipples, honestly. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, and then you had the statue in the movie. Was it Batman and Robin? Did you see the one where Poison Ivy's driving through Gotham? You have the statue holding the pair of balls in the background.
No, that was the one with the fucking telescope.
No, not that one. When they're on the street level, where she's just like, Bane, enough monkey business. Or she's just like...
It's like
putting on the wig, and she's driving to the statue.
And step on it. Step.
Yes, and behind her, like when you have the shot there, she's holding the the statue's holding a pair of balls in the background.
That was the telescope building.
No, it wasn't the telescope building. I will find this right now, and I will
God. But it's like, so the suits are great. I actually really enjoyed the sonar suit from Batman Forever. I actually had a big statue toy of it. The Robin suit's great, but then when you get to Batman and Robin, it's all about the gimmicks, and I love the gimmicks. I love how how many fucking bat gauntlet rope things are on this one fucking glove that Batman has. You'll notice, like, every other scene, they pull out a fucking gauntlet thing. Like, were these fucking gloves designed by Tony Stark? Because they have so much fucking, like, engineering in it. It's like, how are you able to move your arm with that much weight and function, Batman? Honestly. Like, you ever notice that? Like, in the opening scene, there's like 3 or 4 times when fucking Batman pulls out a fucking bat gauntlet thing that shoots a bat rope. You know, he, like, even fucking Robin's got one that folds out of his wrist, and it's like, how are you able to move around?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
The suits, like, with all that gimmicks are completely impractical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but they look cool. Like, I love, you know, all the bat rope climbing and shit. That shit's fun. You know, and I love, that's one of the tropes I loved about the Schumacher movies is the way they opened with, like, you know, them suiting out with the belt clip and showing the emblem. And yes, I know the bat crotch and the bat butt, but putting on the boots and then grabbing the different gadgets they need. Like, I remember, like, after those movies came out, there were a couple of films that actually did mimic that.
Right.
Most notably, I remember seeing in the theater Recess School's Out, and they have it where they have to go break into the school. So they actually do suit up like Batman and Robin. And I remember in the theater, I was like, they're doing Batman and Robin! Right? And one thing I will say, in terms of the sets, out of all the adaptations of the Batman films, Schumacher's Batcave is incredible.
Oh, his Batcave is probably the best, I'd say, overall.
I like the best Batcave. Okay,
I like the 89 Gotham City in terms of Gotham's look, but I love Schumacher's Batcaves.
Oh, the fucking lights, the fog, I love the Bat computer. I love where he puts all the suits. I love the gadget room. I freaking love that turntable Batmobile when it comes out, and it's like, you know, the music in that scene. Like, I actually will say this: out of the first those 2 openings, I like the one from Batman and Robin, because when fucking the Batmobile comes out and you have Batman and Robin silhouetted and the music's just building, it's like, bum, bum. Like, it's literally almost chanting their names when it's like they're showing their face, like, Batman, Robin. It's like, yes, let's go. It's amazing. It's awesome. And then Robin's just like, oh, I want a car.
It is.
You know, chicks dig the car.
This is why Superman works alone.
Yeah, thanks for acknowledging that means that Christopher Reeve's Superman exists in this universe. The Donner movie. No, it is. No, here's what it is. The Burton-Donner films exist in one universe, but then you have Batman Forever and Batman and Robin that take place in the Superman 3 and Quest for Peace universe.
That would make total sense.
So imagine if fucking Nuclear Man showed up to fight George Clooney's Batman and be like, let's go. My man. Canon Films joins Warner Brothers to make Batman v Superman starring Christopher Reeve and George Clooney. Oh, man, that'd be great. So, yeah, it's just, I love those Batcaves, and I will admit I do like the opening line from Batman Forever. Can I persuade you to take a sandwich with you, sir?
I'll drive through.
I love that. I don't care if people think that's a commercial line. I love that line, because then I just want to see Batman, like, it's my dream. If I ever had a Batmobile, my goal would be going through a drive-thru at McDonald's in a Batmobile. I would actually do that. Just to fulfill my lifelong childhood dream of fulfilling the line, I'll get drive-thru. So, it's one of those things. So, freaking, you know, that shit's good. So with Batman and Robin, it's like, yeah, like the sets are just, the miniatures are great. The effects are fantastic. It's just, I went back and you know what it is? I think we've mocked it for so long. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. I love Batman and Robin.
Oh, fuck yeah. I love Batman and Robin. Why do you think I paid to see it in theaters?
Yeah, like who wouldn't? I mean, it's not your dark Batman. I think it's pretty much a Batman for the whole family. You know, it's for the whole, you know, it's just a good movie for the kids. That's another thing. If you want to get kids into Batman, it's a good place to start. It's that, the Adam West Show, and the animated series, I think, are the 3 best places to start for kids with Batman. And it's just, you know, the only thing I don't like is the Battlefield Earth fucking cinematography where everything's at a fucking angle.
Exactly, where it's just randomly, oh, let's do the tilted camera.
Yeah, it's like, why does this look like Battlefield Earth? Why does this look like, it's like, it's ridiculous. And then you got the fucking when Mr. Freeze is like freezing the ice shit, and then when they unthaw it, there's that one guy who opens the police door and the icicles jiggle. I don't know if you ever noticed that. The icicles are fucking rubber, so they jiggle.
You can see them clear as day.
And then can somebody explain the whole thing about keep cutting back to the bulldog that gets frozen? Like, the bulldog gets frozen taking a piss on a fire hydrant.
Which has got to sting if it's breaking off.
Yeah, and then like he's on throws like, yeah, I'm gonna walk over here. Okay, bye, bulldog. Whoever were you, the director's dog or something? What the hell?
Maybe it's like Josie. Oh, you want to know something funny? In the cast list for Batman and Robin, they list Coolio. It was supposed to be Jonathan Crane.
No. Coolio actually was one of the bike members, gang members.
No, they listed him as Scarecrow or something. Like, that's what he thought he was going to be.
No. If they made a '90s Dragon Ball Z movie, Coolio was King Cold.
Oh my god!
About Frieza and how much of an awful son he is. But fucking yeah, like I forgot. Yeah, fuck, Coolio was in that, and that's the thing. The album to Batman and Robin is not as good as Batman Forever. Let
me screen share. I found it. I found the image.
Oh,
I've been looking this whole time.
The dangling balls statue.
All right, show up my screen.
Okay, hang on. Oh, boy.
There it is.
The balls. He's holding fucking Hedorah's fucking eyes from Godzilla versus Hedorah. It's like, here, Schumacher, here's your balls. They're gone. You've stripped this movie of its balls.
But yeah, it just like, I remember watching that with my friend. We were like, bro, what's with the fucking statue? Is it holding a pair of testicles in the background? It's like,
I didn't ask how many people were in that theater when you saw that screening.
There's about maybe 10 people in there because it was like it wasn't a very advertised event. Like, honestly, I think that one might have had the most. I'm really bummed I missed Forever though, because that's one I wanted to see.
Oh, that would have been fun.
I was sick that day, and I was like, fuck, and I really was trying to make it, but I had like that sinus infection stuff, and I just couldn't breathe out my nose.
Yeah, fucking, I'm pulling out the old VHS tape.
Right. I never owned Batman Forever. I think I owned it. I recorded it off TV, off like TBS or something, because I really wanted to own Batman Forever. It was like when I was younger and I didn't know movies, like I loved them more because I didn't own them. Do you get what I'm saying with that? That's kind of where I was.
I think I had like a taped recording of Robin Hood Men in Tights that I did, so off Comedy Central. But what's funny is you bring that up with it being on television. I remember I watched Batman and Robin one time at my grandmother's house. It was on TV, and I think it was on like TBS Superstation or something. And I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember back when TV networks, when they showed movies, it was kind of like, you know how like they had, what was it, Monster Vision with like Joe Bob hosting? Well, sometimes they had hosts that actually did a cooking show in between the movies. So as you're watching the film, they're also hosting a cooking show. So in between the commercials, they'd show you how to make something, and then you would go back to the movie.
Yeah, I forgot about that until you just brought that up. Like, I remember like, we were like, okay, so for tonight's entree, we're going to be doing this, who's hungry? Or something like that.
You say it like John Hammond? Yes. Huh. Who's hungry? Right? So they actually did a cooking show. No, I miss that. Like, I would love, if I were to host a movie on TV, I would love to do a cooking show.
Oh, great. Fantastic. I mean, because I find myself sometimes watching the Food Network channel late at night. I'm like Randy Marsh and Cream Fraiche. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so I just remember like that shit. And I remember there was one screening of Batman and Robin, and they were obviously making fun of the movie. But what was really great is they kept going back to that scene where Uma Thurman at the telescope building's like, you know, first, I'll rid myself of the furred and feathered pests, and then Gotham will be mine.
I was like, who the fuck are you talking to, lady?
And they keep repeating that line, and then Gotham will be mine. And they kept repeating it, and for some reason, like, that's hilarious. Like, yeah, it's one of those things where the movie's just like over time you can tell like it is a total product movie.
Oh, Batman and Robin, like that's where they're like more toyetic. It was a giant toy commercial. Like it was rushed. Joel Schumacher. If they would have given him another year, I think it would have been fine. Like because the toys for Forever were still in the store, and I'm like, shit, we gotta like because like he like just think about this. He finished Batman Forever. He immediately went to make A Time to Kill. Then he immediately rushed right to make Batman and Robin. That's a lot of work for somebody to go through. So,
and he was probably just exhausted after Batman and Robin. He didn't want
right,
he wanted to do another one, but he didn't have the energy.
Right. He's like, please just give me please, sir, give me one more year. If they would have given him one more year, a lot more time to flesh out the script, it would have saved them more in the long run.
He wanted to actually do an adaptation of Batman Year One at one point.
Yeah, he wanted to make a darker Batman movie because Joel Schumacher can make some pretty like when he's doing hard R dark stuff. That's some really good shit that he's on. Like Falling Down.
Been so good at that with Batman with a Batman movie. I think he actually would have been pretty solid. And actually, the only thing that kind of survived after Batman and Robin was the Birds of Prey TV series.
Oh yeah, that 2003 show, which did make a reference in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
But then they also had the OnStar Batman commercials, where apparently they're kind of like a follow-up to Batman and Robin, where you have the George Clooney suit with the same colors as the Val suit, so it's the blue bat suit that Clooney wore, but it's in a yellow emblem, like it's the black, right? But then you have Michael Goff coming back as Alfred. But what happens is that apparently they were brought back from the fucking the storage unit, the '89 Batmobile, and updated it with OnStar technology. Because that's the thing, I had never heard of OnStar until those Batman commercials back then, and they used.
I don't remember those commercials. I gotta see them again.
They're like a mini Batman sequel to the '90s movies. They're like the last hurrah because you have things like the Joker shows up, the Riddler, the Penguin. But they were great commercials.
I'm still kind of bummed because I heard rumblings that Joel Schumacher was going to release like a graphic novel sequel to tell what Batman Triumphant would have been. I think that would have been a great idea. Like, okay, we never got to make this movie in film format. How about we take that concept and script and it?
Oh shit! I think hang on, you cut out for a sec. Hold on. All right, give us a sec. I think Sean cut out. Damn. Yeah, it was just more of yeah, like they did those OnStar commercials, and yeah, they were apparently going to do like apparently Schumacher wanted to do more Batman movies. Like he wanted to do more. Or no, he didn't want to do movies. There was an article recently he wanted to get back into Batman. I think Sean froze, unfortunately. Let me try to add him back into the stream. Hold on a sec. Let me just, I think he crashed. One moment. Technical difficulties. Please stand by. Device is not connected. Hold up. Oh, there he is. There he is. Hold up. Let me put him back on.
Once again, Jack.
All right.
What
happened?
Internet cut out my computer. Like, I can literally, like, it pisses me off because I'm literally, like, chatting with you, and as soon as I see it starting to cut off, I'm like, oh no, you son of a bitch.
Right now, I was like, oh no. So you were saying?
Where was I at?
He wanted to do, apparently there was an article that he wanted to actually continue doing more Batman stuff.
Oh, he wanted to basically so basically I remember hearing a story that they were going to take the Batman Triumphant script and concepts, and they were basically going to convert it into graphic novel form. So it would have at least gotten a continuation of the story. I'm like, okay, Joel Schumacher was on board, they're going to make this thing, and then it just kind of I stopped hearing about it. I'm like, well, this really sucks because I'm like, you know what? If I can't get the film or maybe an animated adaptation of it would have been really cool. Just imagine bringing back Chris O'Donnell as Robin. I mean, he still looks, he just turned, I think he just turned 50. So, I mean, he still looks like rather young.
Chris O'Donnell is 50 now?
Yeah, I was on like a Facebook page that's like dedicated to Batman and Robin. It just said like Chris O'Donnell turned like 50 or something.
Motherfucker could be Batman now. They could do fucking Damian Wayne and fucking Dick Grayson as Batman.
Yeah, let's look this up.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I heard a rumor. Yeah, he wanted to do more, and you know what? I actually would have been all for it. That he had kept it. And there was the same thing with Tim Burton. I think they wanted to take Batman 3 and make it a graphic novel. But I guess
Right, so-
he was like, no, we don't want to do that. I'm like, I would have read the shit out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I love about the comic book industry lately. It's like, if you can't make a movie, make it a comic book. Like, I would love to see Peter Jackson and company do a comic adaptation of Kong 96. Like, that, I would read the crap out of that.
See, Chris O'Donnell's birthday, it says this today.
Oh, it's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Chris O'Donnell.
Happy birthday, Robin. You're no longer a boy wonder. You're an old man who could be fucking Batman now.
Happy birthday, D'Artagnan.
Oh, yeah, you watched that for the first time, but I love that movie.
It was you know, it was fun. It was fun. Tim Curry was very entertaining as the bad guy, as I expected. It's pretty hokey stuff, but a good time nevertheless. And
so fun. And more for me.
Yeah. Fuck, my internet is still out. God.
And it's no problem, man. I mean, these streams are usually an hour anyway, but we'll keep going as much as we can. So it's like,
the good news is I got cell phones, so I ain't done yet.
Yeah, so it's like fucking yeah. I'll long live the Musketeers. He's mine.
Yes.
It's like a dumb Disney movie, but who cares? It's great. But yeah, it's just so. The other thing I wanted to bring up too, and it's something that I actually started to notice is one of the other reasons why Batman and Robin is such a big bad movie for people. Another reason why the movie did not do so well was because it actually was at the start of the internet age. The internet was just starting up. And back then, we didn't have this. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have, like, big, long reviews of things. We didn't even have video back then. We didn't even have GIFs, I don't think, back in the 90s internet. It was just forums. And one of the biggest websites to really gain popularity and make the internet what it is today, when Batman and Robin came out, was Ain't It Cool News, and therefore making Harry Knowles a star in his own right over time, because there were so many leaks, there were so many like things back then. So that was a big thing with Batman and Robin. Wait, did he come back? Are we back? Is he back?
Yeah, here. Let me switch. Oh, there's three of me.
Switch. There we go.
Oh, thank God. So yes, that's my backup plan when the stupid internet crashes every fucking time. So that I'm just gonna kind of just switch to my phone. So if you ever see me cut out like that, Jack, you know it's like it's the goddamn internet. And
yeah,
again,
it's the Riddler causing brain waves and mind manipulation. It just
you know what
questions.
You know what's great? Jim Carrey, he had two movies that kind of predicted the future in a way. The little box is basically the internet feeding me with credit card numbers, bank codes, sexual fantasies, and little white lies.
Oh, freaking! Can we talk about Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah.
He ain't no fucking.
Yeah.
He's like a monkey.
If the bat wants to play, we'll play. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what is it? It's like, but you said you'd let me live. So true, and so you shall. Nothing but live bait to trap him at. See, his introduction scene was good, and then he became a cartoon character. For your my pleasure, we are sharing the very same acid that made us the man we know today.
Oh God, the Tommy Lee Jones,
great in that role. Tim Curry.
Oh fuck! Now I wanted Tim Curry in that movie.
Can you imagine him like laughing, but it's like what's the line that he does in the movie where it's like, if the bat wants to play, we'll play.
Okay. Imagine Tim Curry and Jim Carrey side by side in a movie together at that time. Motherfucking A!
Oh my God! You'd have Curry. You'd have Carrie Curry.
They would be. But you know what? Tommy Lee Jones
coming soon to NBC.
Oh my God! It would have been so fantastic. Like those two would have been. There wouldn't have been any scenery left unshoot. It was.
Oh my God! It would have been great. But yeah, freaking Tommy Lee Jones in that movie. Apparently, he hated. He says it's one of the worst mistakes of his career because there was apparently him and Jim Carrey did not get along at all. Like apparently, like there was a radio thing where Jim Carrey said that Tommy had grabbed him by the throat and said, "I hate you. I hate everything you're doing." Like it's pretty crazy. But like, yeah, it's just more like, you know, he's out there just like, apparently the thing is he didn't know anything about Two-Face. He read the comics. He knew nothing about Two-Face. But apparently his son knew who he was, and he said, "You should play him, Dad. You should play Harvey Dent."
Yeah. So, we got a comment here. Somebody says, Sean, I saw you meeting Tommy Wiseau. You did?
Oh, hi, Sean.
I've met Tommy Wiseau like 3 times, all things considered.
I don't know if I would ever want to meet him. He seems okay.
No, he's very friendly, and I'll tell you this: when you shake his hand, the man has the softest hands in the world, and that's.
Does he have, okay, I'm going to sound terrible for saying this, but does he have autism? Do you think?
No, Tommy is just a strange.
I think he comes from the same planet as Christopher Walken.
Yes, he sounds like Christopher Walken too.
Christopher Walken as Tommy Wiseau would be the greatest thing ever.
Yes, Tommy. I want to get the 2 of them in a room together and just turn on a camera and just see what happens.
Tommy and Chris coming soon to Fox.
Christopher Walken, you're so funny.
Tommy, shame on you. I was in Batman Returns, but I was also in Country Bears. Oh man, just fucking no! Can you imagine at the end of Batman Returns, Christopher? This is not over, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just the dumbest shit. But anyway, fuck, I forgot. Yeah, so Tommy Lee Jones in that movie, he's just like having, like, he sounds like he was trying to have fun. Like, I love that scene where it's like, release Chase. This is between you and me, and me, and me. Oh, the laughing in that movie is great between the two. It's like, riddle me this. What kind of a man has bats on the brain? Come on, say it. You're a genius. Don't stop. Like, what the hell were they, like, what drugs were they on making that movie? What cocaine-fueled mess? Like, it's, somebody pointed out when they reviewed Space Jam, looking back on it 20 years later, they're like, what fucking cocaine-fueled mess am I fucking watching?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the thing, too. So I would say that Batman Forever and Space Jam are like the definitive 90s movies. Like, they don't get any more 90s than that, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like fucking... I love there's a... No, you need to watch. You need to watch the riff tracks of Batman Forever. It's great. Because they're just cracking jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the scene where, like, it's like, newspaper says Batman's alive, and Two-Face is like, no! It's like, he just saw the reviews of this movie. You know, it's just that, like, that was their whole reaction. So it's just the weirdest fucking movie. It is, but, like, I love those fucking films.
Yep.
Like, and so, to the point back to where I was going with Batman and Robin, is that it wasn't just the internet that really caused it to be one of the first movies on the internet to get backlash. But the big problem I noticed, and it was a big criticism back then, but nowadays, given our culture, it's kind of a thing you can't use to criticize it anymore. Because one of the biggest things about Joel Schumacher, he was back then one of the first really openly gay filmmakers. You gotta remember, he was gay, and you know, there's nothing, like, I know plenty of gay friends and everything. I'm all for the LGBTQ community, and you know, whatever they need to do to you know, kick ass and have fun and shoot bubblegum. But to the point, it was like one of the criticisms why people hated those 2 Batman movies, because the whole argument was they put nipples on the Batsuit, and then somebody would reply with, what do you expect? You hire a gay man to make your Batman movie. So apparently the reason why people did not like those movies is because they felt because they hired a gay director, it meant those movies were gay. And if you've ever spent a moment on Xbox Live, you know nothing turns off 11-year-old boys more than something quote-unquote gay. And that's a big problem. And you know what? So if you're one of those critics back then who hated those movies because the director was gay and added maybe a little bit of that to the film, that's not a criticism. That's just homophobia, and that's just not right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just something where I do need to kind of come out and say that, because people have said that's one of the reasons those movies sucked, and it's not. The reason those movies were, like, the reason Batman and Robin is technically not a good movie is because it was rushed. It had a lot of studio interference. It had nothing to do with Schumacher being gay. And, you know, and it's just something that lately has bugged me, that I started to realize, okay, that's not funny. Like, it's not even funny. It's just kind of fucked.
Okay, what's with these comments saying Sean is a drip? What?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how do you block these guys? I've never figured that out. Here, I'm gonna put it there. Here, I got it. I blocked them.
Okay, because I'm like, why are they? It makes no sense. It's weird.
You get a couple of those, and I just ignore them. Some of them try to test me, and I just don't respond because I know they're just being trolls. I get a couple of those, but really, it's just I laugh at the trolls. I don't respond.
Oh yeah, I get it.
You know, actually, I've got a video coming up where I am responding to a few YouTube comments because a lot of people told me to like do a video like reacting to comments, because I love getting YouTube comments. Some of them are just downright insane and hilarious. So, yeah. So basically, it's more of just yeah, it's one of those things where it's like hang on a sec, I'm trying to figure out how the hell here. Hold on. Yeah, I blocked them, so they're not coming back. So. Yeah, it's more of the idea that just those films, they're products of their time. I still enjoy them, and they're big parts of my childhood. I love those films. And, you know, people who say, like, they're not good, it's like, look, everybody has their own favorite Batman. I like everything Batman. Like, let me be honest. When it comes to anything DC puts out now, I don't give a shit about anything DC unless there's Batman and Batman things in it. Like, big screen stuff. Not much for the television stuff. Not much for anything on TV. I can't keep track of that. There's too much to count. But more just in movies. Like, that's why I enjoyed Suicide Squad. I enjoyed Birds of Prey in some instances. Like, that's not a good film, but I enjoyed parts of it. Why? Because it takes place in Gotham City. It takes place in the Batman mythology. And that's what I look forward to. You know, Batman for me has always been my favorite superhero. And it's because he has no powers. He's got cool toys. He's got an amazing costume. Like, when I think superheroes, I think Batman. So with Schumacher's Batman films, those are a definitive part of my childhood. And at some point, guys, I will be covering those movies down the line. I was supposed to do 89 and Batman Returns this year, but because of what's going on, that production has to be halted. But thankfully, I'll say this, my next BigJackFilms review is going to be on the 60s Batman movie, because I figured if I can't get one big Batman movie done, I'll do something a little smaller, and I'll talk about the 60s movie. So you guys will be getting that down the line. But yeah, I owe a lot to Schumacher's Batman films because those were a big part of my youth, a big part of my imagination. And they're just great films. Like, I still enjoy them. And if you guys haven't seen them, if you can turn off your brain on Batman just being nothing but dark and serious and hard R, you actually might have a good time. In fact, Batman Forever, if you like that Marvel movies, you'll love Batman Forever. Batman Forever is a straight-up Marvel film without Marvel.
Super hokey stuff.
Yeah, so, yeah, and it's just really a shame that Joel left us and that, you know, he had plans to maybe do more Batman, and it sucks we're just probably not going to get that now, unless somebody else picks up the mantle that Joel left, unless maybe Chris O'Donnell says, I want to do Batman now, or like, you know, George Clooney says,
like they could have done like the, you know, just something fun, right? They could have had like an animated version, kind of like Return of the Cape Crusaders.
Yeah, you know, like do something like if they did an animated film with Val Kilmer or George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell, if they did another one like that, I actually would be okay with that.
Right.
You know, you get Elliot back to compose the score. You just get the whole cast of the, like the same thing with Tim Burton's movies. You know, if you can do it animated, you can pretty much do anything at that point.
Exactly.
If they make Lego Batman Forever, we're doomed. I'll buy those. I'd buy that for $1. So, yeah, I guess, is there anything else you want to say, Sean, about Joel?
Say what you want about Joel Schumacher. He was a nice man, and he made some entertaining movies that we're still talking about to this day. So he did what he set out to do. He just wanted to entertain, brought a lot of joy to a lot of people. He gave us some fun, memorable stuff. He gave us Arnold as Mr. Freeze, which was Pun City.
The Iceman cometh.
Yeah, it really was a fun experience with Arnold as Mr. Freeze. So I really appreciated it. I really appreciate a lot of Joel's work. And I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss stuff. When I heard that, I was pretty bummed out because, like I said, Joel Schumacher, he's been somebody who we've been talking about for years and brought plenty of entertainment value. So much great stuff with Joel Schumacher. It really was fun. And like I said, I'm going to miss the guy.
Yeah, I mean, we owe a lot to him. I felt like when he passed, a part of my childhood did pass as well. It's the same thing like when Toy Story 3 ended. I felt that was a good closing. But then with this, it's like a closing to that childhood essence of Batman, which I'm always going to remember. Like, if I have kids, I'm probably going to show them Batman Forever first. Like, that will be a definite given for me because those movies, they're just great. And anything, like, I might check out more of his films. I'll check out Lost Boys. I'll check out Phone Booth. But, yeah, I really liked what he put out there. So, to Joel, thanks for the 90s childhood. We owe you a lot, man.
Yeah. I don't have a drink, so...
No, do the Diet Coke jingle.
Just for the taste of it, Diet Coke.
So I guess that's it for this live stream, guys. Again, thank you all so much for watching our tribute to Joel Schumacher. Guys, go subscribe to JTIsReborn. He actually is huge right now in not only the Godzilla community, but also the DC community. Like, his DC just blew him up recently.
Yeah, I had like a video just hit like 70-something thousand views. Some other videos hit like 20K.
Yeah, I mean, I would even recommend going not just into the comic book stuff, go into the movies. Talk about, the Snyder Cut coming out soon.
Oh, yeah, I've talked about the Snyder Cut beforehand, but I mean, I do want to tackle all the Batman films. I'm working on the animated universe right now, and there's another video I was writing to get out to some people. But yeah, so you can check out my channel there. If you guys want to check out the Twitter, I have at Sean JT King. That's a fun one to do. And yeah, that's what I got. So yeah, thank you for having me on, Jack. It was great talking Joel Schumacher with you because, well, we both enjoyed Joel Schumacher's stuff. Had a lot of fun with it. And again, lots of entertainment value with Joel. So
yeah, and again, guys, your thoughts on Joel Schumacher's Batman films, let us know in the comments. And until the next video, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off. And I want to end it, Sean, before you go. I want to end it with one of my favorite lines from Batman Forever.
Okay.
A friend's got to go. It's like, what is it? A friend's got to go his own way.
Not just a friend.
Friend told me that.
Not just a friend.
And he froze. Oh, wait. You froze right there. So then we're going to go for another take because you froze.
Right. Okay.
You're freezing. You're freezing.
Fuck.
Go to the back phone. Okay, wait. Okay, let's try this
I'll get my phone out. Hang on.
We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Okay, we're going to do this. Right.
I can't promise I won't kill Harvey.
The line?
I can't promise I won't kill Harvey.
A man's got to go his own way. A friend taught me that.
Not just a friend. A partner.
A partner.
Yeah. Or no, we got to do the alpha.
Okay.
Or no, we got to end it with the Batman Forever one. It's like partners. We're going to need a bigger cave. We should just run in slow motion.
That or my favorite line in Batman Forever is that one guy when Batman jumps up. Batman!
Sometimes counting on someone else is the only way you win.
That's like, you weren't talking about being partners. You were talking about being a family. So I'm asking you, friend, partner, brother, will you trust me now as I constantly shake my head in the bat suit?
Great
All
stuff.
right, later, guys. Farewell, Joel. We'll miss you, buddy.
Yep. Farewell, Joel.
Later.
Later.